Hello everyone, Stormborn1 here. Today we'll be tracking the tropics here. There's a new area that's popped up here that's catching a lot of people's attention here. Definitely need to watch for that system. We're also going to be talking about a little bit about severe weather that'll be occurring across parts of the Central Plains and even for parts of the Midwest, which that also may bring the risk of some flash flooding. So let's go ahead and get started with the tropics, and we got two disturbances to watch. You got disturbance number one. They dropped the percentages to 10% due to the wind shear. I think it's really going to kill this thing, and it's probably not going to do a whole lot of anything later on. So I don't really expect much of anything out of that disturbance. However, we got this disturbance that's popped up earlier today. There's going to be a strong tropical wave that be coming off across parts of Africa, and when it gets off into the Atlantic, that's when things start to get interesting. And this thing may continue on and may actually strengthen. And this is definitely something pretty impressive here. Typically, for this time of year, we don't really get strong tropical waves this early in the season. So it's a little bit uncommon. But what's also pretty impressive is the model agreement on some of these ensembles, which I said we're going to take a look into. So let's go ahead and get started with the European model, and you can tell by some of these wind bars here. Let me get a different color here, we'll get red. So your low pressure system is right here. You're going to see this continue to move up into the northwest, and eventually it's going to turn a little bit more to the west than north as I kind of play this through. So if we move on to Friday, here it is right here. Now at this point here, this may become an invest, which hopefully it does pop up as an invest from the National Hurricane Center, so that way we can actually look into the hurricane models. But it does show tropical storm force, not tropical storm, tropical depression force winds there already on Friday. And here it goes, it pops up here. And then as we go into early Saturday morning, we're already at a strong tropical depression. Then later in the day on Saturday, we're getting close to tropical storm strength at this point. And it dies down a little bit. It's got a pretty small circulation, and then at this point, it's a tropical storm. Now, if we probably look into some of these upper level winds, we'll see if there's any winds fighting with this thing. It doesn't really look to be the case there. Maybe if we go a little higher up. Yeah, not really. Nothing really fighting this thing a whole lot here, indicated by the European model. But there could be some dry air to work with. Haven't really looked at too much of that yet. But as we get into Monday morning, here it is at a tropical storm here. And it continues on to move to the east here. And it's still a tropical storm. Gets to the Lesser Antilles here. And eventually it goes into the Caribbean. Then we're at the 10-day part. And it pretty much dies out from there, which that can change most certainly there. But if we back up to Sunday here, if we look to the GFS, the 12Z run, barely shows it right there. Much weaker than what the European model is showing. And Icon model doesn't really show it at all with that system. So that's the European model. Let's check out the European ensembles. Check this out. Now I got this all from Twitter from several people on here. So this goes out for 360 hours. Now, this is the very impressive part. It's the agreement with these European ensemble models. And I think this is composed with, I believe, 50 models. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But check out this agreement here early on. Even it's got this thing showing, a couple of these actually show it, have it as a tropical storm pretty early on. And then we do not really know when it gets to Lesser Antilles here. Then you get a major model spread here. You got some that go further north. You got some that go into the Caribbean. Uh, Again, this is pretty far out. This could change here. I've seen this several times before where models have a really good agreement far out, but then as you kind of get closer to an event, the agreement gets weaker. Uh, so things can likely change with this here. But then again, it's something to watch here. If this does make landfall, if it makes it all the way to the United States, it might be sometime in July. That's how far out this is when it gets to the United States. But early on, there's a strong agreement with the European ensembles that this may become a tropical system. But some other models do disagree with this. There's a little bit of a model battle with this. So again, this is looking to the GFS model here. You can see right here is your tropical wave here. And as we continue on here over the next several days, how it moves to the north, but it just doesn't really gather strength at all. Another thing to note is that models are hinting on a hurricane might come up in the eastern Pacific that might pose a threat to west central Mexico. There's a little bit of model uncertainty with that as well, but a hurricane definitely seems a good possibility there. And then kind of going back to this tropical wave, it dies out. So there's some disagreements here. Here's a Canadian model. Here's your same tropical wave that's down here. And watch this. It moves a little further north and it also dies out. But you can still somewhat see its remains. There it is right there. But so there's a little bit of a model battle to this. You really got the European models versus the GFS and the Canadian model at this point. If the National Hurricane Center names us as the INVEST, we'll be able to have access to the hurricane models, and we'll see what those models think about the system. But then again, it's something to watch for now, and I won't. But don't get really worried about this system because this could change here. But then again, it's just something to watch here fairly closely. So that's the tropical side of things out of the way. Let's check out the severe weather side of things. So this is for the rest of today. We got enhanced risk for severe weather across south central Nebraska. We got slight risk for severe weather in northeastern Minnesota, northwestern Wisconsin, and far western upper Michigan. There could be a low end QLCS tornado threat in southeast central Nebraska. This is going to be all from a cluster of thunderstorms here. Damaging winds would be your primary threat, but there can also be the chance for some hail as well. And we'll take a look to the Harris Dam in just a moment. And here's tomorrow. We got an enhanced risk for severe weather in northeastern Kansas, northwest central Missouri as well. There is a little bit of an elevated tornado threat. There will be a low pressure system kind of moving up along this stationary boundary here that'll be setting up here. And this low pressure system will be moving up to the north, so this may bring in a little bit of tornado threat, might bring in some wind shear with it. So that kind of enhances your tornado threat a little bit. Damaging winds will also be there. There might even be the chance for some significant damaging winds back in Kansas. So we're going to watch for that as well. And then you also got the hail threat as well. So pretty much your greatest severe weather risk will be focused within that enhanced risk, which includes places like Kansas City, Overland Park, and Independence, Missouri as well for some of those cities in that area. And then as we move on to day 3, we got a pretty large margin of risk really from northeastern New Mexico, southeastern Colorado, all the way up into southeastern Michigan as well. So let's check out the high-rise dam here, and keep in mind the models for the past several days have been performing pretty poorly. But the best model I've seen is a high-rise dam, so that's the model we're going to take a look into today. It's just a high-rise dam, but I'll still take it as a grain of salt for right now. I'm going to show you guys why, and it's pretty much this part right here. It shows it a little bit further north, a little bit more organized storms, a little further north than what the SPC has it. We'll see if on the next update the SPC will follow that. I don't think so. We're going to have to take a look at a couple other models, see what they're thinking. But you can see here how this Mexico convective system does continue to move southeast, eventually into the early morning hours in northeastern Kansas, northwestern Missouri, southwestern Iowa, and southeastern Nebraska. And then eventually it dies out when it gets into the Ozarks. And then later on in the afternoon, as the atmosphere recharges, a new cluster of thunderstorms develop nearby Kansas City. That can bring damage to wind threat. And check out all these thunderstorms as well. You got some decent thunderstorms up in Iowa. You got decent thunderstorms in northwestern Indiana, to parts of Michigan. This is the part. This is the part we need to watch for the flash flooding potential. With this stationary boundary here, and also with high precipitable water numbers, any of these thunderstorms can put down a lot of rain in a short period of time. We're talking about precipitable water numbers above 2 inches, and that's a lot of moisture up in the atmosphere. So those rainfall rates in these storms will be pretty high. And then as we move on into Friday, more storms form in Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, up into Michigan, and even up in Iowa as well. And it's all caused by this stationary boundary here, forming all these thunderstorms in these places. And let's check out these rainfall totals, because this is definitely the concerning part. Check out these rainfall totals. You got some places that make it a quarter of an inch of rain, maybe to an inch of rain, but then you got some areas that make it 2 to 4 inches of rain, and then you got some other isolated places that make it well above 4 inches. Also, be consistent. There will be some high uh, rainfall numbers in some of these places in here, but not really the exact area is the uncertainty here. Harris Dam has it some of those highest rainfall totals in northeastern Kansas, and even some isolated spots in Missouri, Iowa, even for parts of Indiana and Illinois as well, even for southwestern Michigan. Check out a couple more models here, see what they think about the rainfall here. You can see here, it looks like models are trending a little further north with that MCS there later tonight. So we'll see if the SPC will follow that. You can see that continues to move to the southeast. The new cluster of thunderstorms form in some of the similar areas. And that's actually associated with that low pressure system right there. That moves to the northeast. New storms form, and it just kind of trains over to some of the same areas after that. But again, check out these rainfall totals. And this is pretty concerning here. You got places, again, maybe an inch or two. Then you got isolated spots that make it over 6 inches of rain. I mean, check out these rainfall totals. That's a lot of rain. That'll definitely cause some flooding problems. Now, some of these places actually do need some rain, which this is good news that they will get some rain, but it may come in a very short period of time, and that could lead to some flooding problems. So definitely need to watch for that as well with the flooding side of things. That's the NAM right there, and this is definitely something we need to watch here over the next couple of days as well. And we'll lastly take a look into the Weather Prediction Center outlook here. So this is day 2 excessive rainfall. There's a moderate risk in northeastern Kansas. This may get expanded a little further to the west. We'll see about that. Northern Missouri in for a couple counties in west central Illinois as well. And then on day 3, you get a large slight risk area for eastern Iowa, far northeastern Missouri, the northern half of Illinois and Indiana, northwestern Ohio, southwestern Michigan, even into parts of southern Wisconsin as well. Excuse me. And let's check out those rainfall totals for the next 5 days. And you can see there, you got some pretty hefty totals, really anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of rain for northern Missouri, southeastern Iowa, central Illinois, into northern Indiana. So this is definitely something we need to watch here. So anybody that does live in these areas, definitely need to watch out for the potential for some flash flooding over the next several days. But anyways, guys, that's all for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, leave it in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions. And I see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.